Hello everyone, this is Stephanie, your CSA coach, and I am hopping on live today because this is the weekly live that I will be doing starting next week, but I wanted to discuss a few things this week as far as prepping for our CSA share starts and what you should have, what you should pay attention to, that kind of stuff. So I will see you pretty much every week at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays. So I go live, I typically discuss what we receive in our share, how to store each item, and then ideas of what to do with each item, recipes that you might want to create, or how to preserve, things like that. So stay tuned for that starting next week. This week we're going to discuss how to prep for our CSA start. First of all, on Mondays, you will receive an email from the farm. That email is full of lots of important information. So please read it at length, start to finish. It contains basically what we're going to get in our shares. So I wait for that email, and then the most important part for me is what we're receiving. And I kind of start to begin to brainstorm and think about what I'm going to do for the week because I meal prep each week. So that for me is the most important part, but there's other details in there as well throughout the season. So make sure that you pay attention to that on Mondays. Every Tuesday, I will go live at 3 p.m. So you can join me at 3 live, or the videos will stay on the Facebook group and be posted on our YouTube channel. So you can always access them after the fact. And they are helpful. Like, a lot of people say that they come home, they watch the video. I try to do them as early as possible for me, so that people that are picking up later on Tuesdays can just watch it live as they're going through their share. So pay attention to that. Recipes will be posted that relate to whatever the share we have for the week. Those will be posted on Thursday. And then there's a lot of other things that will happen within the Facebook group. So just use the Facebook group as a community, as a share tool, and then we'll be discussing and kind of leading some answering questions and stuff throughout the Facebook group. So pay attention to that if you're on Facebook. There's also what we call a hub. It is linked in many of our emails. If you go to that link, there's a lot of great information on there. A lot of resources, PDFs. I have printed out all those PDFs. I don't like using digital stuff, so I physically need to have those things in front of me. So I print them out and have them in a binder. Whatever works for you, but there's a lot of great information on the hub that will help you throughout the season. And we'll try to remind you of that throughout the different weeks as well. Please make sure you're reviewing your CSA rough guide. That's been linked in several of the emails that Trisha has sent out. But that goes over the rules of the CSA, what happens during pickup. It answers all of your questions about what if I forget my pickup? What if I'm going on vacation? What if I'm running late? Things like that. It's all answered in the rough guide. Remember that our farmers are working really hard, and if you have a Tuesday pickup, you're expected to pick up on Tuesday. If you have a Thursday pickup, you're expected to pick up on Thursday. If you have a half share pickup, please pay attention to what week you are, either A or B. And then I recommend marking your calendar, which week is your week for pickup. Let's see, what else? I think that's it as far as my reminders of things that you want to review and do before next week we get into the pickups and stuff like that. The only other thing I want to talk about is what to have with you on pickup days. Typically, I follow the same schedule every Tuesday. So I pick up right around 1 o'clock when the CSA opens. I allot enough time, especially for U-Picks, and then I'm home in time to unload, run a few errands, pick up my son from school, and do the live. When I go for pickup, I keep all of my stuff together in one big bin. So the first thing I recommend having is some sort of bin or container or basket or cooler that you're gonna put all of your items in your car. So you're gonna go up to the table and you're gonna pick up a big crate, a plastic crate. It's gonna be filled with most of your share. you need to leave that crate at the farm. So you're gonna need to have something in your car that you can unload all of that stuff in. Years ago, I got these, I have 2 of them, green, they're plastic, they're easy to rinse out, they're lightweight. I keep these together, so I have 2 of them, and I've never had trouble, like my shares always fit between the 2 of them. So that's what I use, but I've seen people use coolers, I've seen them use baskets, you can just use bags. Just make sure there's something in your car that you're unloading into, and it makes it easy to carry back into your house. The other thing that you will need, or I like to have, is some sort of bag. So I have a canvas bag that I keep in. I used to have a lot more, but I only really need 1 or 2. And I keep that with me for when I'm walking into the fields. So in the field, you'll need a couple different things. When it comes time for flower picking, you will need some sort of plastic vase. You cannot bring glassware into the fields. So an old water bottle or a milk jug, easy, you just cut off the top, and that's what I put my flowers in. And once we get closer to flower picking time, we will discuss how to make this. We'll post a video, all of that kind of stuff. So if you don't have one of these, not a big deal right now. We don't have flower picking for a while. You will also need some sort of shears. So I keep these right in with my flowers, my flower bin, and then I keep that in my bag. You will be often asked to do U-picks. Anything from strawberries to green beans to cherry tomatoes. The farm will tell you what size or the amount, whether it be a quart or a pint. So we will get containers to measure them. These stay at the farm. This is not from the farm. I've just saved it for show and tell purposes, but these stay at the farm. So you can use them for measuring purposes, but then don't take them with you. The farm needs them. So what I do is I collect in this and then dump it into my plastic containers. Especially something like strawberries, I can put them in my plastic bin, put the lid on, and it's nice and safe for travel. So it doesn't get smushed, it doesn't get ruined. I can throw it in my bag and it's easy. I keep several of these because there are points in time where you'll be collecting or picking, let's say green beans and cherry tomatoes at the same time. Throughout the season, there'll be lots of different U-picks, so you will need a couple of these. And you could also do a couple different sizes. I just use the same size because they stack well, they fit in my my bag, and I just know they're my U-pick containers. That's pretty much it. It's all I can think of right now. As you have questions when you're prepping, when you're putting everything together, what I do when I get home is I'll unload everything, I clean everything out that I just showed you, and then I put it in my garage so it's ready for the next week. So I don't have to think about running around my house and scrambling for the different items. They're always all together. So a couple of notes on what you want to do within the next week. Review the rough guide, take a look at the emails that have been sent, take a look at the hub with all of the great useful resources, and then gather your materials for your first pickup. If there are any questions, just post them on the Facebook group. Make sure you tag me so I see it. I don't always get all of the notifications, so if you tag me, it's helpful, and then I'll try to respond. But otherwise, welcome to the 2025 season, and I will be on here weekly. Thanks. Bye.